Good afternoon. So last class you have completed solar energy. Today I will start with oceanic energy, the energy that we are getting from ocean, right? So ocean energy, you know that ocean is storehouse of energy and it stored energy in many forms. The most common ways of obtaining energy from ocean is tidal energy, energy from wave, and oceanic thermal energy. In class 10, you have to read all these three. Now I'm starting with tidal energy. First, what is this tide? The everyday movement of water level along the coast is known as tide. Water level near the coast rises up and fall twice a day. Tides are caused due to gravitational pull of moon on water in the ocean. High tides occur on every new moon day and full moon day. The energy derived from rising and falling ocean is called tidal energy. Now, condition required to harness the power of rising and falling tides to generate electricity. 2 points are there, 2 conditions. First one, a minimum tidal range of 8 meters between high and low tides. Second, a narrow bay or estuary is required that maximizes the force of tidal flow in and out. In order to use tidal energy to generate electricity, a dam is built across the tidal region of water. Sluice gate allow water to flow in it at high tide. As the tide fall, the gates are shut and the water is allowed to run the turbine to generate electricity. Now its advantage. So from here, what are the condition is important and the advantage and disadvantage. Advantages of tidal energy. It is inexhaustible and renewable source of energy. It do not cause any pollution, pollution-free source of energy, does not require large area of valuable land. It is independent of uncertainty of rainfall. I am repeating again, it is inexhaustible and renewable source of energy. Do not cause any pollution, does not require a large area of valuable land. It is independent of uncertainty of rainfall. Then limitation. Power output is variable. Power generation is intermittent and is not very large. So every day you will not get same amount of electricity. That is what it is written, power output is variable. And power generation is also not continuous, it is intermittent and it is not very large. There are very few suitable sites available for construction of dam. And the last point, the most difficult problem are barrage construction in high tidal flow, corrosion of barrage, sluice gate, and turbines by the salty sea water. This is the major problem. The equipment has to withstand the enormous pressure of water. Now the suitable sites in India is Gulf of Cambay, Gulf of Kutch, Sundarban, Lakshadweep Island, Andaman and Nicobar Island, coast of Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Next topic is energy from wave. The energy possessed by sea wave is called wave energy. The unequal heating of Earth's surface generate wind, and wind blowing over water surface generate waves. These waves have kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy which is used to generate electricity. Now, advantages of energy from wave. It is free, renewable source of energy, inexhaustible also you can write, pollution free, do not require large land area, and do not require a specific site. Then its limitation, power output is variable. Power generation is expensive with present technology. Marine life get affected due to wave energy structure. Then wave energy extraction equipments has to withstand the enormous stress of storm in water. Last one, that is oceanic thermal energy. What is this oceanic thermal energy? Solar energy stored in ocean in the form of heat is called oceanic thermal energy. In short, we are writing OTE. The temperature difference between the surface of ocean and the water at the depth of 100 meters range from 10 degrees centigrade to 30 degrees centigrade. This temperature difference is used to produce electric power. The process of harnessing the thermal energy of the sea is called oceanic thermal energy conversion. And the devices that we are using for this purpose are called oceanic thermal energy conversion power plant. Now see this diagram. This is oceanic thermal energy power plant. Just see, it is evaporator, right? In the evaporator, we will use warm sea water, means water at the surface, for evaporating liquid ammonia. So ammonia gets changed into vapor, which is used to rotate the turbine, and then the used ammonia vapor will go into condenser where we will use cold sea water, the water which is at the depth of 100 meter. So condensation of ammonia will get condensed, and with the help of pump we will again send it to evaporator. Now how does it work? Pressurized ammonia is vaporized in an evaporator through which warm sea water flows. The vapor is expanded through a generator to generate electricity with the help of generator. The cold sea water is used to condense ammonia vapor through condenser. The ammonia condensate is pumped back to the evaporator through a pump. Ammonia circulate in a closed loop. So OTEC power plant is called closed cycle OTEC system. Closed cycle OTEC system. Now its advantages. OTE is renewable and pollution-free source of energy. It is renewable and pollution-free. You can write in 2 points also. Handling of advantageous substance is limited only to the working of fluid like ammonia and freon. OTEC system transfer nutrients from the unproductive deep water to the surface, thus enriching the fishing ground, and do not have daily or seasonal variation in their output. I am repeating again, it is renewable, pollution free. Handling of hazardous substance is limited only to the working fluid like ammonia and freon. OTEC system transfer nutrients from the unproductive deep water to the surfaces, thus enriching the fishing ground, and do not have daily or seasonal variation in their output. Now its limitation, it requires a large capital investment, and efficiency is comparatively low, only 3 to 4%. So you can write this 2 point as disadvantage. Next topic is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, the energy obtained from the nucleus of an atom, is called nuclear energy or atomic energy. In chemical energy, you know that electron in the outermost cell will take part, but in the nuclear reaction, you know, nucleus will get involved, and the energy that we get or obtain from the nucleus of an atom is called nuclear energy. Then what are the ways by which we are getting this nuclear energy? It is nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. So first we will start with nuclear fission, and the energy obtained is in very large amount that we used to express it or measured it in electron volt. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule, right? Nuclear fission is used to generate electricity. Nuclear fission and fusion is used to make an atom bomb and a hydrogen bomb for mass destruction. So we can use it for constructive purpose as well as for destructive purpose. Now, what is this nuclear fission? Nuclear fission is the phenomena of splitting of unstable nucleus of a heavy atom into two medium weight nuclei with the liberation of enormous amount of energy. I'm repeating again, it is the splitting of unstable nucleus of a heavy atom into two medium weight nuclei with the liberation of enormous amount of energy. Then how we are doing it? It is carried out by bombarding the heavy nucleus with a suitable projectile, usually slow moving neutron. Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann had discovered this phenomena, or you can say nuclear fission. The nuclear fuel generally used is uranium, plutonium, or thorium, or uranium-235. These material can be fission even with the low energy neutron. When uranium-235 is bombarded with thermal nuclei, it split into two groups of nuclei. First one is heavy group of nuclei with mass number ranging from 130 to 149. And second one, the lighter group of nuclei with mass number ranging from 85 to 104. Now see the fission reaction when we will take uranium-235, and when it is bombarded with slow moving neutron, we call it as thermal neutron. It will split up into barium and krypton. These are the product, radioactive product. Barium with atomic number 56 and an atomic mass is 139. Krypton atomic number 36 and atomic mass 94. 3 neutron is released along with that tremendous amount of energy. This 3 neutron again bombard 3 atom of uranium-235. And then in next step, again the energy is released with the release of 9 neutrons. Again 9 neutron bombard the 9 atom of 92 uranium-235, and 27 neutron will be released with the release of tremendous amount of energy. Like this, fission reaction is carried out. Now, nuclear chain reaction. The reaction in which the particle which initiate the reaction is also produced during the reaction, and it carries on further and further. The reaction will be carried on further and further. So the reaction in which the particle which initiate the reaction is produced, we call it as nuclear chain reaction. Now see this. This is uranium-235. It is bombarded with slow moving neutron. So in first step, 3 neutron is released along with barium and krypton, and energy is released. So this 3 neutron again bombard 3 atom of uranium-235, and in next step again 9 neutron is released along with tremendous amount of energy. Next step, again this 9 neutron bombard 9 atom of uranium-235 and 27 neutron is released with release of tremendous amount of energy. In this process, 1 neutron is absorbed and 3 neutrons are produced. These 3 neutrons cause fission of 3 more nuclei of uranium-235, producing 9 neutron, and a lot of energy is released. The 9 neutron cause fission of 9 nuclei of uranium-235, producing 27 neutron, and greater amount of energy is released. This process goes on indefinitely. An enormous amount of energy is released in a very short time. This type of nuclear reaction is we call it as uncontrolled chain reaction, and is the basis of atom bomb. If we will not control it, it will result into destruction. This is the basis of atom bomb. Now we can control this uncontrolled chain reaction with the help of moderator and arrestor. The controlled nuclear reaction is achieved by moderator. The moderator that we are using is heavy water, that is D2O or graphite. And the arrestor we are using is cadmium rod in nuclear power plant. So in nuclear power plant, with the help of moderator and arrestor, we change the uncontrolled chain reaction into a controlled chain reaction. Now, nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is the phenomena of combining or fusing 2 or more lighter nuclei to form a more stable heavy nucleus. Just opposite of nuclear fission. Fission is splitting of heavy nucleus into lighter nuclei. Here, fusion of 2 or more lighter nuclei to form heavy nucleus with the release of tremendous amount of energy. A huge amount of energy is required also here for fusion of nuclei. Very high temperature with high pressure is needed to bring fusion. Now see the example. Here 2 deuteron fuse to form helium. Along with that, 1 neutron is produced and tremendous amount of energy. Another example of fusion reaction. 2 deuteron fuse to give tritium. Along with that, proton is formed and tremendous amount of energy. Third example, 2 proton fuse to give deuteron. Along with that, positron is formed and neutrino and energy is released. Chargeless and massless particle, this neutrino, and this positron is having 1 unit of positive charge. Now fusion is source of energy in the sun and other stars. So you can give this example also in fusion. Fusion is the source of energy in sun and in other stars. The sum of the mass. Now from where this energy comes, the sum of the mass of the product is always, you will find that it is less than the sum of the mass of the reactant in nuclear reaction. The difference in the mass before and after nuclear reaction is called mass defect. The mass of the product is less than mass of the reactant. So there will be mass difference and we call it as mass defect. According to Einstein, mass energy relationship E equals to delta mc square, where c is the velocity of light in vacuum and delta m is the mass defect. This mass defect appears in the form of nuclear energy. Hydrogen bomb is based on nuclear fusion. You can give example of hydrogen bomb in nuclear fusion and atom bomb in nuclear fission. A very high temperature of order 10 to the power 7 degree is required, that is generated in atomic explosion based on the fusion of uranium-235. So Hydrogen bomb, how it is, how we are making it. First thing, keep it in mind, very high temperature of the order 10 to the power 7 degrees needed, right? So it consists of mixture of deuterium, tritium, and lithium. In this mixture, an atom bomb is embedded. Now, first explosion of atom bomb is carried on, which is based on fission of uranium-235. The fission of atom bomb will raise the temperature to the order of 10 to the power 7 degree. At this temperature, fusion of deuterium and tritium will take place, resulting in release of tremendous amount of energy in very short time that will cause only destruction. Then what is the function of lithium here? Lithium simply supply more tritium. It will break and will give tritium, which is needed for nuclear reaction. And hydrogen bomb is more powerful than an atom bomb. Now, advantage of nuclear fusion over nuclear fission. Energy released is much more greater than energy released in nuclear fission. If you compare the energy released during fusion and fission, you will find that energy released during nuclear fusion is much more than during nuclear fission. The product of fusion are not radioactive, unlike fission. During fission reaction, radioactive product is obtained, but here no radioactive product is obtained and can be disposed of easily. It does not create any environmental pollution. Now, limitation. A very high temperature of the order 10 to the power 7 degrees required to initiate the reaction. So this becomes the limitation or disadvantage of nuclear fusion. Now, hazard associated with nuclear power generation and what are the safety measures that we are supposed to take. When an organism is exposed to nuclear radiation means alpha, beta, and gamma rays emitted by these nuclear fuel. Ionization of its atom may break up the complex organic molecule, disrupting the normal functioning of the biological system. This is the hazards of nuclear power generation. Now, these hazards arises at 3 stages. First one, during mining, during processing. Mining we are doing, you all know what is mining. Processing means we will increase the percentage of uranium-235, and the process we involved is enrichment, increasing the percentage of uranium-235. We call it as enrichment of nuclear fuel. During this process, there is a chance of release of nuclear radiation. Then second one, leakage of nuclear radiation from the reactor. And third one, during disposal of nuclear waste also, this hazards come. Now, what are the safety measures that we are supposed to take? To protect the worker from this hazard, special type of clothes which will prevent the radiation from entering their body is used. And second, to prevent the leakage of nuclear radiation from the reactor. The reactor is covered with thick concrete wall and lead sheet. And third one, that is to dispose of waste. We are dumping it in deep mines. It is first kept inside the steel cylinder and then it is dumped inside the steel mines. So to dispose of nuclear waste, deep mines are chosen for dumping nuclear waste. Now the chapter is over. From here, you just note down, write down 2 questions as homework. Write the advantages and limitation of A, nuclear fusion over fission, and B, oceanic thermal energy. Thank you. Have a nice day. Go through the chapter. If you are having any doubt, you can write in the chat box.